What's up, folks, and welcome back to Viper Island. We hope your summer's going well. This is your weekly review. You know the drill. Let's dive in. Coming up, we'll give you the latest on the HasLab Cobra Rattler campaign. We have updates from Hasbro's G.I.JOE team, in addition to confirmation of a new figure that we told you was on the way months ago, and now we have confirmation. A deep dive into some new concerns about the classified series, some brand new details which have not yet been made public, some hints of an upcoming surprise, and a lot more. So sit back and relax, because first up we have an update about the HasLab Cobra Rattler. At the time of filming, the Cobra Rattler is approaching the 14,000 mark. That will unlock the Cobra Rattler Gunner figure. The patches have already been unlocked, and Pilot Bear Nest will unlock at 18,000 backers. There are a little over 3 weeks remaining for the Cobra Rattler campaign. If you are backing this iconic jet, tell us in the comments and how many you're ordering. Lenny from the G.I.JOE team spilled the beans about how the Rattler came to life. In the HasLab focus groups over the years, the same items kept coming up. The Hiss Tank, the Dragonfly, and yes, you guessed it, the Cobra Rattler. Hasbro has admitted that thanks to endless chatter from online shows like this and members of the community, the Rattler became a no-brainer for the 2024 HasLab. Props to the people who claimed we were wrong about the Rattler for the last year, said they had inside sources, and insisted that the Dreadnought Thunder Machine or the G.I.JOE Snowcat would be this year's HasLab, not the Rattler. The Rattler itself is a work of art. The cockpit covers are sleek and modern, there are thicker wings, and engine parts that scream real world. Many thought the Rattler would be too big for classified, but we spent the last year saying that the Rattler would be around the same length as the Dragonfly. Once again, our information checked out. To be more specific, the Dragonfly is actually a half-inch longer than the Rattler, and when the wings are up on the Rattler, it's only wider than the Dragonfly by a little over an inch. So in the end, the Rattler does indeed size up very nicely with the Dragonfly. And as for those unlockable patches in the first tier, Hasbro has confirmed that it's all about cost. They wanted to keep the Rattler around the $325 US price point, which they believe is affordable for the classified series audience. We've got Wild Weasel, a Rattler Gunner, and Pilot Bear Nest as your 3 Rattler figures when all tiers have been unlocked. Interestingly enough, Hasbro had a laundry list of other options they were considering for figures, but in the end, practicality won out and they chose the options that make the most sense. These standard options, especially with the new Baroness, do end up attracting a lot more backers than lesser-known characters would have. Now let's talk about Wild Weasel and some details you might not be aware of. Wild Weasel has knee boards on his legs, just like the original figure back in 1984. We believe these are removable. The mission orders are simple: praise Cobra, find the pit, and destroy G.I.JOE. And this lines up perfectly with the power of the Rattler. It's a deadly weapon in disguise for Cobra. On Wild Weasel's other leg is a stratagem knee board with a map. Designing these knee boards to be removed from Wild Weasel's legs allows collectors to pose Wild Weasel holding either of these. Hasbro's created the quintessential Wild Weasel with a fantastic head sculpt. And this is a first for Wild Weasel, who has always been depicted with only his flight helmet on until now. And folks, you've spoken and we listened. You want the details, the opinions, the insights, all in one jam-packed episode. That's what the weekly review is all about. We're making life easier for you by cutting through the noise and giving you everything you need in one shot. No filler, no fluff, just everything you need to know. Tune in and get the full story with the weekly review. If you're enjoying this, hit the like button and make sure you're subscribed. Switching gears to the latest in G.I.JOE Classified, Lenny and Tony from the Hasbro team are on a mission to give us fresh new characters like Mole Rat, Twilight Guard, and Wolf Spider, while still sprinkling in those obscure favorites like Shooter or Quarrel. And did you guys want to talk about vehicles? Good news, according to Hasbro, they're just as important as the figures. Lenny has said they've learned a lot from making the Vamp, the Hiss Tank, the Dragonfly, and now the Rattler. Each one pushes the boundaries of what's possible. Tony has always mentioned that reuse of parts is key in this game. For example, the Vamp mold is already setting the stage for other vehicles like the Cobra Stinger, the Vamp Mark II, the Dreadnought Ground Assault, and others. Every successful release in this line builds Hasbro's overall confidence to push the line further. As for new figures based on real-life people like the 80s NFL football star William the Fridge Perry, according to Hasbro, they do have interest in adding some real-life personalities to G.I.JOE, but let's be clear, interest alone doesn't translate to results. Hasbro says that featuring real-life people is a marketing and legal nightmare, so don't hold your breath on that happening anytime soon, no matter what you hear from other people. If you're hearing rumors about the Fridge or even Roddy Piper joining Classified, it's nothing more than wishful thinking. Next up, let's talk about Road Pig. Now I know a lot of you are buzzing about those head sculpts. Let's just say they've been a little polarizing. Some love the look, while others think that our boy Road Pig is channeling a little bit too much Saturday morning cartoon. We hear you loud and clear, and we'll be diving deep into our thoughts on Road Pig very soon, so stay tuned for that. But here's the thing that's got us scratching our heads. Where are the diorama images? You know, those epic action shots with dynamic backgrounds that really bring these figures to life. For the moment, it appears that Hasbro's overlooked Road Pig's diorama debut. No action shots, no epic scenes, just Road Pig in all of his cartoony glory in front of a plain white background. What do you think is going on here? And what could Hasbro be saving Road Pig's images for? I reached out to someone at Hasbro for some clarification, and they were strangely very reluctant to share any details about this in particular. And that's not necessarily the norm. It could be that there's nothing to this, but it is strange that of all the standard releases, Road Pig has not been given some diorama images. Or is it possible there's something around the corner involving Road Pig? Perhaps with some of his friends? We believe there might be some smoke here, especially considering some upcoming plans that have not yet been announced. Now Hasbro does watch Viper Island, and they appreciate the feedback that they receive from our viewers. So you know the drill. If you want to see Road Pig's diorama images, drop a comment below. Together, an audience of this size can often get results, just as we've done many times before. And if you have your own theories about why we haven't seen any diorama shots with the Dreadnought's human wrecking ball, Road Pig, then share them with us and let's get talking. Now heads up, Joe fans, Skybound Comics has dropped some big news. The first issue of the upcoming G.I. Joe comic from the Enon Universe series is coming with a whopping 18 variant covers, and they're packed with a lot of familiar faces. One cover shows CoverGirl battling Tomax and Xamot. Another shows the Joe team posing amongst Rubble. There are two different Baroness covers, and a cover with just the Mars Industries logo. We've shown you the teaser image before, but since we are expecting a lot of future crossover opportunities with the Classified series, let's break it down. On the Cobra side, the featured characters include Cobra Commander, Destro, Mercer, Scrap Iron, Tomax and Xamot, and some flying Cobra bats. Over on the Joe side, we've got Duke, Clutch, Rock and Roll, Stalker, Baroness, and CoverGirl. Plus there's even a new character to keep your eye on. His name is Risk. He's got brass knuckles and has a background in mixed martial arts. Risk is a modern-day Joe with two looks, one in a suit and one with a vest and rolled-up sleeves. He's a scrappy new character, and his signature weapon is a shotgun. In addition, Risk appears to also have a pet eagle with indigenous designs in white, black, and red. As for how soon a new character like Risk will join the Classified series, we'll have to wait and see, but keep your eyes peeled. Now speaking of CoverGirl, fans are already buzzing about this blonde bombshell version. She's the one everyone's hoping makes it into the retro line, or even gets paired up with the Wolverine tank if that ever sees the light of day. Stalker will have 3 different looks in the series, one in his standard camo outfit, another with his gray, black, and white digital camo outfit, and a third is in his all-white outfit. And if that wasn't enough, there's another cover where Cobra steals the spotlight. This time, we're getting a fresh, more colorful take on Cobra Commander, but the real showstopper here, Mercer, standing large and in charge in the background. Collectors are hyped about getting a Mercer figure in the Classified line, especially if it's based on the classic G.I. Joe the movie look. But honestly, this bold new Skybound version would look killer as a Classified figure as well. So what do you think? Are you down for a Classified version of this revamped Mercer? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Issue number 1 will be released on November 13th. Next, remember last September when we told you that the Iron Grenadiers were coming to Classified? At that time, we broke the news about Metalhead, the Iron Grenadier, the Iron Grenadier Bat, and another that has now been unofficially confirmed, Darklon. Add him to the list of upcoming figures in the unofficial pipeline, like Iron Grenadier Destro, Baroness, and Voltar. We expect Darklon to be announced this fall. So once again, keep your eyes peeled for that. Next up, one of the figures that a lot of us are really excited about, Dial Tone. Dial Tone is easily recognizable by his distinctive military attire here, which includes a black beret and a khaki and green uniform. His defining feature is that signature backpack communications device, an essential tool that sets him apart as G.I. Joe's primary communications expert. According to the Hasbro team, Dial Tone's beret is removable. Tony from the G.I. Joe team said that the samples they've received from the factory look incredible, and that it will only get better. He said that Dial Tone's face print in particular is really good. Dial Tone Dialtone's backpack is equipped with state-of-the-art technology enabling secure and reliable communications out in the field. And his gear also includes an earpiece headset here. We're gonna zoom in, there it is, and this allows hands-free operation of his equipment, and it's intended to pair with his handheld Soundwave device. Also, let's take a closer look at Dialtone's backpack. There's something special hidden here, and a lot of collectors are going to be very happy about this. At the bottom of his backpack is a laptop which does fold down. He has a walkie-talkie in the holster on his leg, and he also has a cell phone which can attach onto his belt. It also appears that this cell phone might attach onto the weapon, as there's a rectangular clip on top of the submachine gun. Let me know in the comments down below if you agree that this is where the cell phone might attach onto, or if you think that there's a separate use for this. In my personal opinion, this Dialtone is one of the best looking new Joe characters. It looks clean, simple, and it looks like Dialtone. I would rank it alongside Airborne. This digital render shows Dialtone's backpack from behind. Traditionally, Dialtone has a hands-free microphone which folds down and rests on his shoulder. It's not shown in any of the released images so far. We can now report that Dialtone's communications backpack will indeed feature his hands-free microphone, which will snap into the side of his backpack. And there you have it. More trustworthy information direct from the source. Now let's talk about the Cobra Commander San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. The Once-A-Man version sold out in minutes on Hasbro Pulse, and let's just say it wasn't smooth sailing. And a lot of collectors have been telling us about their experiences being shut out, having the figure in their Hasbro Pulse shopping cart, only to have the website then reject their orders when they tried to check out and pay. If this happened to you, you are not alone. The story of Once-A-Man Cobra Commander is the same as many before it. Limited quantities, chaotic pre-orders, and now we've got scalpers galore. All just to own a piece of this handsome fella right here. Let's call it like it is. Hasbro really dropped the ball here, allowing up to 5 copies per person on Hasbro Pulse, whereas they had only allowed 1 per customer at the Comic-Con. It's no wonder that so many fans missed out on this when people could order up to 5 of these. The problem was completely avoidable, yet here we are again. Another messy rollout that's left collectors frustrated, unable to purchase the figure they wanted, with Hasbro's poor decision now resulting in scalpers getting the last laugh over other collectors. This is not the first time that Hasbro's convention rollout has gone poorly for this exact reason. No matter who's at fault for this decision, Hasbro needs to own it, listen to constructive criticism, reset their approach to exclusives, have an actual discussion with the community about what their target audience would prefer, and then redeem themselves by implementing a fair and transparent pre-order system that limits purchases to 1 per customer across all platforms, ensuring that the true fans, those who genuinely want to add these figures to their collections, are the ones who get them first, not the scalpers. They should also consider offering a second wave of production for these high-demand exclusives, giving everyone who missed out because of the terrible rollout a proper chance to purchase this without the frenzy, and thereby restoring faith in their ability to deliver for the collector community. If you love this version of Cobra Commander, more power to you. Personally, I'm holding out for the superior-looking retro-carded version of Cobra Commander, an accurate depiction of the Cobra leader. Because of that, the Once-A-Man San Diego Comic-Con exclusive was a very easy pass for me. If you agree or disagree with this take, let us know in the comments. And you can get your weekly fix of G.I. Joe news right here with Viper Island. No filler, no fluff, just quality. We deliver premium content that cuts through the noise. Viper Island. Quality first, always. Looking ahead to the next few months, the calendar is packed for G.I. Joe fans, so mark your dates accordingly. PulseCon will be on September 13th. Hasbro's 1027 event will be on October 27th. The MCM Comic-Con in London will be from October 25th to the 27th. And the MCM Comic-Con in Birmingham will be on November 29th. There should be new releases at most or all of these events. We're also expecting another G.I. Joe fan stream in either November or December, so it should be another busy fall. Looking ahead to PulseCon on September 13th, we expect the following releases: the PulseCon exclusive Starduster, the Deluxe Nemesis Immortal, then our newest mainline wave of 4 figures, and this includes Saw Viper, Dialtone, Xandar, and Leatherneck. And we're also expecting the Cobra Claw. Over to what's new and classified, let's take a quick look at some brand new developments for the line. And first we'll touch on Raptor. A quick shout out to Tony from the G.I. Joe team. I recently asked Tony what was up with Raptor's digital render having the blue G.I. Joe background. He got back to me right away and said it was just an oversight as they were rushed with some final prep for the San Diego Comic-Con. Sure enough, no more than 2 or 3 minutes later, Tony posted a new render of Raptor with the red Cobra background. So huge props to Tony. The guy's working his tail off even during off hours at night, which is when I reached out to him, and we respect the hustle. That's what I call dedication. And classified fans already know that with the paint applications on this line, we're very lucky to have individuals like Tony working on making G.I. Joe one of the hottest action figure lines, period. Over to the Twilight Guard. The Twilight Guard's cape will be featured with another character, Iron Grenadier Destro. Keep an eye out for this to be announced soon for the 2025 lineup. Next, over the 60th anniversary line, the Action Marine Sniper has alternate heads, necks, and hands, which allows collectors to interchange parts and pieces while having them still match. It might not seem like a lot, but these are the small changes that collectors will definitely appreciate over time. Then over to the Halo Jumper. The Action Pilot Halo Jumper is mostly based on the airborne mold. It's a great looking figure, and this is the kind of reuse that we love to see. Now let's talk about the Pilot Baroness. The HasLab Cobra Rattler's Baroness features all new tooling. So this is not relying just on the Crimson Strike Team Baroness or any other previous version. The 60th anniversary line will be renamed the Legacy line moving forward, with new figures debuting in 2025. If you have any ideas of new characters or their potential roles for the Legacy line, post them in the comments below. We'd love to hear what collectors are wanting next, and also what will help fill out your collection even better. Next, the Transformers G.I. Joe crossover Triple T tank with Cup, Sergeant Slaughter, and Leatherneck has been released. It stays pretty loyal to the Triple T, and Cup appears to be the ideal Transformers character to pair with it. If you're into these crossover collectibles, drop your thoughts in the comments. We're curious to see how popular this subline is. And now it's your turn. Today's Viper Island question of the day is, how should Hasbro handle exclusives? Should they be made to order? Are you okay with limited quantities? Or do you enjoy the thrill of the hunt? Whatever your take is, sound off in the comments below. And there you have it. You've made it to the end of this episode, and we really appreciate that. Thumbs up down below. And we would love it even more if you take just 1 second of your time. Make sure that down below you are subscribed to the channel. We ask that you do, because that guarantees that we definitely get to see you back here again next time. Thanks for tuning into Viper Island, your one-stop shop for all things G.I. Joe. When there's relevant news, we'll be here to discuss all of it, together with you. Thanks for watching, thanks for supporting, have a great day, and yo Joe!